Okay, so it's almost 10 o'clock at night. And the dogs are asleep, but I'm still up. I've been up this whole, since whatever time it was I was up doing this the last time. I don't remember what time it was. There's been a lot that's happened today. And I'm having some kind of, I don't know, like a stress reaction in my body or something, like adrenaline. So that's why I can't even go to sleep. And I feel like I'm on drugs or something. Like my mouth feel like I feel weird. And I like one thing I keep forgetting to say of some of the stuff that I've been having that's so weird is like I will hear something, like I'll be laying here sleeping, the dogs are laying there, and one of them will make a noise or something, but I interpret it as a person. It is the weirdest thing, and it keeps happening over and over and over again. And then it's like, wait a minute, there's no people here. It's just me and the dogs. And it's like, fuck. It has been so weird, and it's been going on for like a week and a half. It's been intense. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? This is so weird. And then things just get weirder and weirder. But so today, um, I don't know how far back. Oh, because well, I started the dog sitting today because the neighbor went to LA, and I was just like so weirded out because all I was seeing all day was just devastation, devastation, devastation videos. And I was just like, this is so weird. Like, and she's there, I guess. Like, I was like, man, is her flight even gonna get there? And all this wind, and like, this just seems so crazy. And so anyways, I was busy with my dogs, and I was trying to crochet and finish this one skein so I could start the next one. And so I was just busy sitting there doing that, watching some weird movie. Plus, I've been on this weird algorithm of weird fucking, oh, not just weird movies, but devastatingly weird, like traumatic, like weird. I don't even know. And they just keep coming. I don't know if it's just this dark energy here. It is just like doing everything it can. It's weird. And so I was watching some movie, and it was just weird, the whole way it was filmed and stuff. But I liked some of the people in it, but it was just weird. And just people screwing each other over. Like this girl's mom was a famous actress. She wanted to be an actress, but there was this weird competition. Like you couldn't even tell who was more crazy. It was just so weird. You couldn't tell who's really killing who. It was like, I thought, man, this is weird. And just like the energy of it. And it's just been one after another of these weird things. And even this morning, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna put on some music for a while. But then the music felt weird. And I was like, fuck, how does everything feel so weird? And so I was tripping out all afternoon, and I'm trying to finish that, watch this weird movie. I'm tripping out like, oh my gosh, she's gone. But I had to stay up because I had to go over and feed her dogs and stuff. And so when I finished that row, when I got to that part, then I was going to go. But so I already said that my brother is having symptoms again. So that was also what started. I was trying to think, when did that start? Because I started getting messages I got from my mom. Then the family group chat thing started. And then I've been talking to my other brother, the LA one, and I talked to him about the fires too. He said they can't get them under control at all until the winds go down. There's nothing they can do, and it's just spreading and spreading, and more starting. I think they must be spraying accelerants. I mean, this is January. They had all those atmospheric rivers and all that stuff. How can things be this dry? And but I swear they spray accelerants or something on it and stuff so it goes up. And now they've got two scapegoat kids or something that they were playing with the fire or something. And that started all this. This is what they're going to say. But there's a lot of speculation in certain groups that or like this is intentionally being started as an act of, or but then you also look at how much is being exposed of the mishandling money. Like there's a lot of stuff, and it's like these things are going to happen, and then what is that? Like fuck, there keeps being the weirdest fucking noises. I feel so fucking anxious. Like I was like, fuck, I just need to go and just record now because I'm not gonna be able to get to sleep. I feel so fucking weird. And so anyways, the stuff started with my brother. And so we went and saw the surgeon today. I thought it was his appointment was like for a couple weeks, but I guess it's all been emergency. And he's way worse. Oh, it's hard. So he went and they said that it grew back. It's way bigger. It's way deeper. It's the most aggressive kind of brain tumor you can have. And he's got 6 months to 2 years. But then my brother who's talking to him said he's really declined a lot since yesterday. He said they're going to start treatments right away. And he said he hopes it's going to shrink it enough to where he's going to stop having symptoms, but I don't know, you know. And he said that he's at peace with the whole God, it's just frustrating. I'm just fucking sad. It's so weird. Like when you start thinking about like a world without one of your siblings. It's just fuck. So I was totally stressing on that. I was trying to figure out like, fuck, how do I get there, man? I need to go see him. And I was trying to figure out like, you know, what do I do? How do I get there? And what do I do with the dog? Like I'm just going through all this stuff like fuck. And then I don't know. I had to go feed those dogs. And so I start walking over there. I'm just bawling my head off. And going in there, I'm just like, oh my gosh, because he doesn't want to start any, he doesn't want to do any of the natural stuff. He just is like, what's meant to be is meant to be, I guess. It's trippy, you know, maybe this is really enlightening him in some way or something, because he is like, oh, he was always like, souls don't exist, and you know, I believed in fairy tales and all this stuff. So he doesn't think about like natural stuff. I mean, he's very science, and so anyways, I don't know. A lot of times when people get that, they go real quick. When people get told like the a lot of people just go real quick. Like people, I don't know if it's a phenomenon or something. And so, anyways, I'm walking over there and I'm bawling my head off, going over feeding the dogs, and it was just like, oh my gosh, every little thing was like so tense. It's like, fuck, everything feels so tense and stressful. And so, finish up with them, and I trying to shut their door, and the alarm's not going, or it's not lining up or whatever, so it won't lock in. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, it's just how it just keeps going. Everything keeps going like this for a couple weeks or months or something. Everything I fucking touch, it like flies across the room. And then, so I couldn't get the door to shut. I was like feeling frustrated. So I finally get done with that. Now it's super dark out, and I start walking. And then I see there's a fucking SUV parked in front of my house, just sitting there with the lights on, and it's running. And my dogs are going crazy barking. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's dark. I can't see, like, and I'm just like, man, who in the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Like, this is mental. And so, I went back in their house and I'm standing there looking out the window and they wouldn't leave. They wouldn't leave. Then the neighbors across the street came home and they had to back into their thing and the guy didn't move. And so then I'm thinking, okay, well, that's weird because why would the neighbor, like, you know, I thought maybe the guy would move once the neighbor came home or something. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then so I go, and then I remember, oh, I've got that split in the back of my fence. I'll just go walk out the side of hers, go around the side, go to the back and come through the back of mine and come in that way. And so then that's what I did. And I came in and as I'm doing that, I start getting a phone call and it says no caller ID. And then there's a big light being shined down. So now I'm thinking, okay, so the sheriff's here. So what, you know, are they, you know, what are they coming for? And I mean, don't even forget, like I have this fucking ticket I haven't paid too. And so, and I'm in this blue state that they are going to keep going against. And like, this is our last, I mean, who knows what the hell is going to happen on the 20th and stuff. Like, if they're doing all this stuff as fast as they can, because everything, I don't know. Like, it's all very frustrating right now. And so, because, you know, I was feeling like, oh, I'm going to win this round. But I have a lot of thoughts about this. So there's a lot of things. But so I'm just like going to go through the story as I go. But it's going to take some turns as it's going. And so, I, see that there's some no caller ID calling me as I'm coming through the gate thing. They're shining this big light down. I just walk up and walk in to the house. The dogs follow me. Stella stays out there. I keep trying to get her to come in. I turn the porch light off. He just keeps standing down there, just shining this fucking huge light. Now he's texting me and is saying that he has left eviction notice on my gate and for me to call him or something. And so I just ignored him. I went in the house and then I started messaging my kids, my daughter, I think. And I said, because I was talking to them already about my brother. And then I said, now I'm getting evicted. Like, this day's just the hits keep on coming. And so, so then they're just like all like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm just thinking I need to talk to my son-in-law because I wonder if his Jeep could pull a trailer. I wonder if he could just come over and help me load some stuff. And then the neighbor who I'm dog sitting for, then I was like, started messaging her and asked her if I could put some stuff over at her house and keep it there. And so she said, yeah, so I'm going to move some stuff over there, but I can't fit. My son-in-law said he's going to come what I'm trying to do because it's so expensive. And there's a whole problem anyways because he has to get over here no matter what. So he would have to drive his car over here, then go rent a truck. And then there's a whole thing if you don't return it to the same place, it's super expensive. And then his car would be stuck over here. So then it was like, well, if we rent it over there and get free mileage, and then we say we're just going to use it for a few days of moving, and then you know, we just got to pay for the gas to get over here, but that's still cheaper than the drop off in another city price. That's so expensive. And so he's going to leave Friday or Saturday and bring a truck, and it's like a 16-foot. It says it fits like 120 square foot, one room or something. I'm gonna not be able to take everything, like my clothes are made like you're just getting really like some of the stuff I'm going through as I'm packing stuff up. So and I'm just finished setting all this stuff up, and it's like, man, the way everything was fitting together, I was like, I was reading that sign as everything was going to work out in that way, but it's crazy because I kept on feeling like I was going to get evicted. I kept feeling it. I kept looking out the window. I kept feeling like the sheriff was going to come up, and I didn't want to feed that energy. So I kept on, just trying to think of the positive. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I don't know what's going to happen, but I wasn't going to sit there and feed like, oh my God, he's going to come. Oh my God, he's going to come, because I didn't know, but it kept feeling like this. I just kept feeling like something, I've been feeling like something so weird, is something feels so off. And so, I felt like, like I knew, but I don't know. It was hard to read. It was hard to see. Like I said, I didn't want to feed that energy when I kept feeling that. And um, so anyways, it just is weird, because like I just got these like there's so much stuff, and everything was fitting together so perfect. Just like the colors and stuff. It just is like, I don't know. I was just taking it as like everything is settling down, or, when, it's only a couple of days until Donald's back in, and then hopefully like the banks start going and stuff. But I don't know. Like, I can't believe how long this has drug on. Like, I mean, it was always a gamble to go up against them and stop paying them and stuff. But I can't believe how it's dragged on like this. But one thing is too, is after watching all this devastation of the fires all day and those videos, um, and all the trauma going on over there, I was like, I can't sit here and whine about, well, I lost my house. Well, and plus I took a hand in mine because I was standing up. But this is how I look at it, though, is everybody's losing, everybody's houses. Like, there's so much devastation. It's like, you just can't hold on to things too tight, because everything's falling apart. And you just got to go with the flow. And so I don't know how this is all going to go down with the uh, Donald, the banks, like, and there's just so much trauma, like, all happening, like, right. And it is weird how, like, there's a freeze and this burning. I did not like January. I really thought our bigger concerns were the earthquakes and the tsunamis. And there is the earthquake or volcano or whatever the fuck this is off of Oregon that they say is about to go. And like, there's just so much stuff, which too is another sidebar to the whole thing, like in a twist, is where I was like, oh, this could all be timing. This, like I've said all the time, that there will be something that will push in a direction, doors will open and stuff like that. Like right now I have an open door to go to my mom's, so I'm gonna go there, even though it's a temporary stop. It's not, I'm waiting for the bank. I'm set for the banks to crash and stuff. Like, I've been preparing for that so I can get a place once that starts going. And so, this is just like a temporary thing. But I mean, the way stuff drives, like, I heard this today. I couldn't fucking believe it. It was somebody from the Ohio derailment thing. And that whole scare when they were all breathing in all that fucking fumes and shit. And he was talking about that. It was 2 years ago. I was like, 2 years ago. Like, we are getting hit so fast, so hard with so many fucking um disasters. It's just like, oh my God, 2 years. We got all these people who are totally panicking now. They're about to bring this another pandemic situation. Like, so many people freaking out, and the norovirus and the bird flu, people are freaking out. This up thing on the cancer shit, like, it's just going to town. And all the different sicknesses, like, I heard more weird shit. Oh, is that chemical? What? I can't remember. Some chemical. Somebody took the fog and took it in. They took it to a real lab to get analyzed, and the chemical that came back was real bad. a shocker, but it was like what that other person was saying. I don't remember if it was the same chemical, but it sounded similar if it's not. Um, but it's real bad for you. So, you know, we're all being fucking poisoned anyway. So then, let me think. Let me think. Fuck, I feel so scattered. I'm such a wreck, and dogs are just, and now I've got like Archie and stuff. I was like, oh my God, my mom's got all those oh my God, and Archie is such a terror. I was like, oh, this is just not gonna be fun. This is gonna be like, and you know, it's right at this pinnacle time when somebody's waiting for the rapture, and I'm waiting for the banks to crash and for shit to start, you know, going heaven on earth. Like, let's start getting things better here. And so, and I can see everything falling apart and things changing, like the stuff with the dog stuff and the in all the shelters. There is more and more stuff coming out and more things. Like everything just keeps ramping up and getting crazier and crazier. And but so let me think. Okay, so Cobb comes, gives me the, oh, so I'm in here talking to my daughter, and she's like, well, how long do you have? And I said, I don't know. I haven't gone out to get the papers. He's still out there. And she goes, well, just go out there. He's not going to arrest you or anything. And so I was like, fuck. So I go out there, and he gets out of his car. I just start pulling the thing off the gate, and he's just sitting there. So I start to walk back, and he gets out of his car, and he goes, starts calling me, and then he says, God, you're being evicted, and you got 6 days or something. And I was like, he goes, you need to be out of here by Tuesday morning. And I said, what if I'm not? And he goes, well, then we'll come here and forcibly remove you. It's like, this is our protect and serve. This is our corporate zombie land. Like, they don't give a fuck. They're taking orders. They're just, they don't see the big picture. They don't care. Like, when the lights come on, I'm telling you, some of these people are gonna have a lot to awaken to. And when they've gone and done a lot of like this push in a certain direction on the karma and stuff, it's gonna flip back. Like, these people who are going and causing problems, they're gonna have a big fucking flip back on them, and it's gonna be rough. Like, they are gonna start getting hit really hard with a lot of stuff. And but so let me think, because okay, so for one thing, then I started thinking about the timing, and then I started thinking this could be, you know, I'm being moved out of the area right before this bad thing is this bad storm. Because any bad storm, like, I could sit here and whine and cry about the house, but one of these fucking trees would take out the house in 1 second, and it's just one windstorm away. And it's right at any moment, you know, any moment that can happen. The flood and stuff, like, my yard's already a swamp. Like, it's already on the verge of this devastation, whatever's going to go down. And I know something is going to go down, because that is what comes in and wakes up the people, these waves of this stuff. And things are going to keep happening. So I would assume there's going to be more things that are going to affect more of the people by something. Like, I mean, it makes sense, a windstorm or something, and trees falling. It could be the earthquake. It could be a volcano. Like, there's all these different things being watched. So anything can go. And once I move over there, I'll be out of the range of this, a lot of the devastation like that. They've got their own issues over there. Like, over by my mom, they're constantly starting on fire, and all summer long, there's constant fires. And then in Spokane, in some of the outer little areas, they'd already burned down like a bunch of cities, like Moses Lake, Airway Heights. I think I don't remember all the ones. Like, they were having these big fires and wiping them out. And then I heard that it's marked for a 15-minute, one of those places. And so it's like they want to devastate everything to kind of just keep herding us into certain areas. and all these different people who are losing their places like right now. Like there's gonna be like a lot. And don't forget too, is Donald's whole thing. Like we still have these freedom cities up there somewhere, you know. So there's going to be all this new ways to start over. So even though there's a lot of losing things and stuff like that. But anyways, I could totally be being moved before a tree crashes through my house, you know? And so then why would I sit here and whine and cry when I can't see what's to come? And, but this is where I have to keep this is that fork in the road, like what I'm talking about, where you choose the energy. And so I could sit here and just pity party, feel sorry for myself, which I did it to myself anyways. Like that would be really ridiculous. And but I could sit here and feel sorry for myself and whine and cry and you know, really get stuck in that energy and what am I going to do, and just fall apart in the stress. And or I can just keep, and this is what I'm doing, keep feeding the energy. Things that are being taken because new things are coming in, better things are coming. You have to uh, you have to go out of one thing to go into another thing. And so I keep trying to look at it like that. This is a transition. It was always going to happen. I mean, it could have happened anyway. The universe can have things happen however they want them. It does, you know, what you do, what really, they could have it, you know, I mean, this eviction thing could have all fallen through, could have not gone at all. I mean, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And you always know things can happen in different ways. And when they happen the way they're supposed to happen, that's it. And so it's meant to be that I'm not going to be here, obviously, unless something happens the next couple days and all of a sudden I'm unpacking. But right now, I've been packing for hours now. I've been on the phone a ton, everybody. So then my two daughters, the one with the little kids, they were like, well, we want to come over and help you. I love you. And I'm like, well, I did this to myself. You guys don't have to stress. Everything's going to be fine. And then I'll be on the other side of the mountain too. And I'll be able to come over and see you guys so much more. And I would be able to leave the dogs with my mom overnight. So I could drive over there, see them in the day, spend the night, see them, and then drive back home and not have to mess with the dogs, because that's always an issue when I'm taking them. I was like, see right there, there's a positive right there. I'm going to be on the other side of the mountain, so I'm going to be able to go see them more often. That was another thing. I was manifesting that. I was like, I got to get away from like all the things, but I was like, this isn't working for all these different reasons. That is, you know, like this manifestation, but it all depends, like this chicken or egg, how you look at things, because things are always going to go the way that they're going to go. And sometimes you have these steps to, it's like releasing and stuff, just looking at things differently and processing, because I don't know, when I came and got the house, I don't know, maybe I was putting two, like there's been a few places I lived in and I was like, oh, this will be my house forever or something. Like I had plans, like, you know, I wanted to still make this like a travel place or whatever, but, you know, the universe was like, no, there's a different plan. And I've had this happen in my life enough times now that I know, like, you just gotta let go of it, and wherever you're gonna go is going to be the next place you're supposed to be. And I'm not supposed to be here anymore. And there was just so many things of but you know, this place was so great for my healing. And so I don't know, maybe that's one sign too, that I completed that portion of my healing. I don't need to be in isolation anymore. Now I'm gonna go get tested more boundaries and stuff. Like And she has that shed. Her shed's not as the same as mine. Hers is more like a shed. Mine has got windows and doors, and it's all, got walls and stuff. And hers is just like a shed. But I'm gonna I guess in spring, I'm gonna put my stuff in, like, whatever I bring on the truck, cram that in there, and then I'll take everything out, and then I'll just go in and start putting in um, fiberglass and walls and stuff like that, and make it into a little place so I have my own little space out there, and do that, and then maybe put a fence up around for my dogs and stuff. Like, there's so many things. Like, give me 5 days. I'm supposed to be out of here Monday night, and so and this is I got Wednesday evening, and so it was 5 o'clock that he was out there. It was totally pitch black, and now I have till Monday. So my son-in-law is gonna be driving the truck over here. My neighbor is gonna let me put stuff over there. My daughters are gonna come try and help me pack up a bunch of stuff. And there's so much stuff. There's no way. I'm just gonna have to leave stuff. There's just no fucking way. Like, especially like all my Christmas stuff. Like, I had such a huge amount of Christmas stuff. I had such a huge amount of nutcrackers. Like, I had a collection of nutcrackers. And for one thing, now I look at the holidays and stuff different, but there's like so many of those things. It's just like, well, it's just gonna be gone. And I'm just gonna have to take the things that are the most important. And then on some of the stuff too, it's gonna be left here. So then in the spring, I'll have, but see, I won't have to be paying all of this stuff over here. So I would be able to, I will be able to, what I'll plan to do is like fix the inside of that little shed thing, make a little apartment out there, and then put like a fence up around it or something, and then get a camper or a van or something, and then I'll be kind of like, it'll be more freedom. It won't even be like, I wouldn't have to get a house sitter or anything. I wouldn't have to just be able to come and go as I please. And so I was like, there's going to be a lot of positive things. So I'm trying to really look at the positive things and not get all caught up in like, oh man, this is going to suck. And because, there's going to be things that are going to be sucky. And, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're just showing me I can take this thing that I have and I can block off this one door so then the dogs won't really see. So I can kind of make I have one of those screens in her French doors that are between, like, the room that I'll be in has French doors into the other, and fucking Stella every time we've ever gone, and then Max too. Just obsessed with watching the dogs and the cats in the other room. And the cats are up all fucking night. So if I put the screen there, I'm just going to have to just make do, for however long it is until the shift finishes shifting, until things, and I feel fortunate. Like, I've seen so many videos, so many people going homeless, so many people sleeping in their car, so many people, everybody's losing stuff. I mean, this is a time where everything is like being taken. It's like, but it's also not on everybody. Like, it's kind of trippy because to me also, I was feeling like it's weird because I already am awake and stuff like that. So it's not like I already went through all of that loss and stuff like that. When I got my brain injury, I lost my house, I lost my work license, I lost all my friends. Like, so much. I had so much loss at that time, and I was so sick and that's when I had all my run-ins with the Western medicine, and I started seeing through all the fucking nonsense. And so I already went through that, so that is why I'm not looking at this as like you know, I'm having this taken away from me for waking me up to get me to, it's like once you get more into that idea of now I'm getting these things taken away because time is finished here. It's done. Now I'm going to somewhere else. It's a new journey beginning. I'm going somewhere else and doing something else and just going with that flow, you know, and trying to be positive about it because before, when it happened to me before, it was like loss, loss, loss. And it felt so extreme. Just like when I'm saying about when you don't have any food and you can look at it as like you're starving, or you can look at it as like you're fasting. And because if you go into lack mindset, it has more of an effect on you. And that's, you know, something that's so big too. It's like, you know, I know my brother doesn't understand about how much that our mind has control over our health and our outcome and stuff. And, but everybody's here learning all different things. And like, I don't know if, I mean, because he's got kids and he's got little he's young. He's younger than me. And he's got kids and grandkids. Like, there's going to be so many people that are going to be so devastated. He has a big family. Like 5 kids. I don't remember if he's got 8 grandkids. Uh, it's really sad. This whole thing is just fucking sad. There's so much sad stuff going on, you know. And but you know, for other people's awakening in his family, because that is one thing is like why certain people leave us at certain times. It's the impact because it makes you heal a bunch of stuff. And then, you know, I mean, there's always got to be like, they don't really leave us. It does, they're out of the storyline, like, but they're still around us. But the interaction's just different, you know? It's, I don't know. Like, it's, I don't know. Because, you know, like the old boyfriend as comes and hangs out now, Dickie. And it, like, it's cool to be around him and stuff. But then it's like, I don't know. There's like, I don't know. Like, it's a sadness too. Because they're not in the physical world. So you can't just go and sit and hang out with them. You can sit and talk to them and feel like you're crazy or something. But even though if you know that they're real and whatnot, but still, you know, it's just a difference of having the people in the physical world with you. And so the loss is, you know, hard, is we're supposed to feel that impact. And it's just weird because it's like all these different states of awareness or consciousness. Because on one level, like, yeah, they're not really ever gone. But it just feels like they're gone so much. And I'm like, my dad's been gone for years now. He just shows up all the time. So it's like people who just show up, who leave, they come and visit you. And so, and also what I was going to say, I didn't think I made it clear, was my grandma, when she had said, it's not like that up here. It's, you're not like married couples and stuff. It's not like you're married here and then you go up there and be married. Because don't forget, you can be married here and then you're also their brother, also their sister, also their mother, also their cousin, also their boss. Like, you played all these different parts. So you wouldn't just be like, oh, well, we're married. I think you come back into these realities so that you can go in and spend time being in a partnership with the person or something. So you can play out these different roles, but you're not like in that role when you're on the other side. We're sovereign beings. We're more independent. And then it is weird though, because some of the realities are higher states of consciousness, but they do have couplings, because like in the Palladian people, because they go into coupling, and but there's a lot of things that are different from what I've heard, but they are supposed to be in like really high vibration realm And most people consider them like the angelics and stuff like that because they're really high vibration. And they also don't just take in a regular form. Like they can be ones that are going out and orbs, like you see them in their orbs, but they can also come into a form and stuff. So I don't know. There's just a lot of weird stuff about all the different things with souls and stuff, but up in the heavens when we're just out there, we don't. It's not like you're married to this person and then you go over there and it's like you're still married to them. It's like no, you. But we are. But we vibe the same. Like my two grandmas were hanging out. They weren't friends in this life, and in my life, I don't even remember. I mean, I'm sure they had to be around each other a few times, but yeah. I think all my grandkids would know, like, I've been friends with all the other grandmas. So I don't, but I don't remember that all with my grandmas. But when I was talking to the medium, they were sitting there cracking jokes and stuff together. Like they seemed to be, maybe, oh, yeah, okay. Because them coming, when I would be hanging out with my grandkids, they really enjoyed coming and hanging out with me when I was hanging out with my grandkids. And that, so it was like they could feel they enjoyed me playing with them when they were little. And so maybe that is how they were around each other because I'd be playing with my grandkids and then my grandmas would come to want to be a part of it or something. And that's how their energies interact. I don't know. Because we all know each other too outside of this. So they could be, as another thing, they could be from the same soul group and they were playing two different grandmas and two different family lines to me. Like, there's so many possibilities with all of our relationships and stuff. It's so much more vast. It's like we're always looking for limitations. We're always looking for ways to make it make sense. Yeah. We're always trying to make things make sense when so many things really don't make sense. Everything is a lot more vast, a lot more open. And it's like, yeah. It's like the open water, open space or something. It feels so much more scary. It's so open. And so it's like parameters are safer. Like when we build walls and limitations and parameters around ourselves, it feels more safe. And so it takes a lot to remove them and take them down. That's why you have to do it in a form of healing, because you have to get comfortable with yourself to be able to take them down and just be more free flowing and not so restricted by others' expectations, because others want something from you and then you're willing to do whatever it takes to be liked or whatever. And so there's like a breakdown and that kind of thing. So anyways, now I have been packing and packing and packing. And my clothes, man, I've got a lot of clothes. A lot of shoes. Fuck. Like that could take over. I could just use her shed as just a closet, man. But that's what I'll probably just do. Just make a big giant closet and then just put a bed in the middle and then just put a place where the dogs can sleep around it. And I'll have to take one bed at least with me. So I have a bed there. But yeah, that's probably more like what I'll do is just make a giant closet room. Because I don't need like a room to go out and sit and watch TV or whatever. She has a TV. If I want to go sit and watch TV, I could go in there. Oh, one thing though that is an issue is her service. Like that will suck. It will be every day that I record. I'll have to. It won't be like, I record and then 10 minutes later it's on there. It's gonna be like I'll have to record and then I'll have to drive into town, let it download. I don't even know, like I'll have to make some kind of changes or something. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, that will be an issue. I'll have to make changes about that because she has no service. Like, it's not like that she can get, she's got like the most service that you can get out there. It's just that where she's at, they just don't have good service. And so, and I thought we didn't have good service, but maybe she can try and get that Ziply. Maybe that would help. I don't know. I'll see when I get there what I can help her do. And that will help her out too, though, is because she can't drive now. And so I can go and drive her to go where she needs to go. Oh, see, and I'd been longing to be able to go to those thrift stores there. But now, where would I put the stuff out in my closet? Like, it's like I've already overdone it. Now I've got all these clothes. Like, and now I've got, oh my God, I just can't even believe. It's just so funny because things just go the way that they go, and they don't go always the way you want them to go. And then it's like, but you got to not feel punished for how it goes. And you got to see the bigger picture. You got to see the bigger purpose. And that it's all happening for a reason. And the reason will ultimately be good. But the getting to it is the hard part. Like if I go through all this, I hurry, I move, I get over there, and then, a few weeks later, all of a sudden there's this big windstorm comes in, and the neighbors tells me like, oh yeah, that big giant tree went right through your house. And plus, then I'm not responsible for any of it because there's some big ass dead trees out here from when they sprayed a few years back. They killed a ton of trees. And when I started noticing that they were doing that out here, it was like they did Roundup or something on it. Everything was turning orange. And then it's so fucking crazy because I did get in an argument just the other day again with one of these people. And because over in like, there's shenanigans going in Virginia, like they've got no water. There's shenanigans going all over the place. But there was one place where I can't remember. It seems like it was Virginia or something. But the person was driving behind this spraying truck. And this truck is just driving along. And there's a ton of farmland and stuff. And they're just spraying and spraying and spraying all of the stuff. And so all the people in the comments were like, were freaking out. And then I don't remember what I said. This one person started saying, oh, well, that's for the whatever beetle. And it's like, that is what the same thing they did out here. And then I said, oh, so they can kill us because so they can kill this rando beetle. And this person, well, with the ecosystem, starts him with all this shit. It's like, oh my God. Like, you're going to come up with a reason why it's okay. Well, we can be sprayed to death because it would be very devastating if this beetle were to, whatever this person was saying. I was like, oh my God. These people just make excuses. Like, it's okay. Just go ahead and poison us. We don't want this beetle. And so that is when it was, I was outside all the time, and I think I was watching through my little thing. I was seeing all of these trails be laid, and I think I was talking about like there was so much, and then because it seems like I got up in the morning time. But I know that they were spraying during the daytime too. But it was like all of a sudden all of the pine needles start just coming off. It was like, even in fall, I had never seen anything like it. It was like my house, it was snowing at my house, pine needles, just nonstop, like blizzard. And I'm like looking around, I'm like, what the hell? And then I started seeing these orange splatters on the trees, and all of these pine needles were just falling and falling and falling off all the trees. And then all the trees started getting this white moldy rings around it or something. I mean, there was a bunch of us trying to figure out what it was, because this was happening to tons of people. We were talking about it online. And so the trees all started, I have some that died, some seemed to come back, but there was a whole bunch that died. And And then when I started going out, like I would be driving with somebody and I would say, look at that. The orange splatters are everywhere. And then they're like, oh, that's the wood beetle or something. It's like, these people, oh, okay. So just one night, overnight, this wood beetle comes and just devastates all of the whole forest. Like just, whoa, this happened real quick. I was like, what the hell? I don't know how people just like, yeah, just, that's all it is. Don't worry about it. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to worry about it. And there was a bunch of us, like we were all talking about it. Now I don't even know where those people are. It's so weird how the algorithm just brings people into my thing and then sweeps them away. And people keep saying all the time on TikTok, all the time, I won't say every day, but a lot, is people keep saying that they haven't seen me in so long. And all of a sudden I just showed back up in their thing. They're so glad to see me again. And so I just go away, and because I'm still there the whole time. They just I don't come across their thing. And then all of a sudden I do. It's really weird. And it's all people who follow me and stuff. And they'll be like, man, I haven't seen you in so long. I thought that you weren't on here anymore. I was like, oh, well, I'm here posting all the time, every day. It's just that they censor my stuff. And so what was I gonna say? Man, I feel out of it. I feel so fucking weird. No telling. Like anything can happen. I swear to God, anything can happen at any moment. But what I'm gonna be doing though is I got all those boxes. I've been saving boxes for a long while. So I'm gonna get those all out. I'm gonna probably have to go get some packing tape though. So I'll go get packing tape and then pack as much of the stuff as I can, get it all piled up and ready to go. And then just see what I can fit in and what I can't fit in, put it at the neighbors. And then once I'm at my mom's and I work on that little building thing to put my stuff in, because it's going to really be hard to be at our house. And like I'm not going to be able to have my clothes and stuff out or anything. Like, I don't know. I'll just have like a few clothes like I'm visiting or something. And then I'll have to rent something, like I said, a van or something, and come over here and get my other stuff or get a truck and then come and do it in spring or something. But at least that stuff will be at someone's house. I don't have to try and move it all somewhere so fast, because that was like way too fast. And so all the stuff that I put over there, then I'll just have to somehow come back and get a truck, rent it or whatever. But I also, being at my mom's, I want to buy a van or something, some camper, a small camper or something. So maybe I can come over and get it with something like that or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. So I'll still have things open-ended over here. And then the bills that I was supposed to pay, I was supposed to pay the water. I'm not going to pay that. I'm not going to pay any of the stuff that I'm supposed to pay right now. And just, I'm not going to go buy groceries, obviously. And let me think. So just scrape together as much money as I can for this truck and gas. I'm probably going to have to borrow some money from my mom too for the gas or whatever. And then, so I'll still owe her. Once I get over there, I still got to pay the wood guy. And now I'm not even going to be able to use all the wood. Like, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of wood. And now it's like, fuck, I'm going to be leaving a bunch of wood. I want to take that over to my neighbors too. At least have her take the wood. Not the fucking bank and whoever, the squatter that's going to come in here. So, it's just so weird. It's just so abrupt. It's so quick. And I don't know. I think it's gonna be strange. I think that a lot of people are just gonna be like, oh my gosh, what happened? But the one neighbor, she'll know. She's known the whole time. But I don't know if she I don't know. Who knows though that I did all of that on purpose. Like I stopped paying these bills and stuff like that. And then when you say like, oh, they won't, they're not going to arrest you. Well, I owe that warrant, like, and I'm not paying taxes. Like, there's people who are having things about that. Like, oh, there's some lady who did something weird with her food stamps. I'm not even sure. I don't even understand what the fuck she was going in Walmart and buying sodas and then coming out and opening them in the parking lot and then taking the cans in to get money. Like, what? Like, so, okay, so you use your food stamps. You know how many fucking cans you would need? Like, you don't get that much for cans. Like, that would be a really weird way to try and get cash off your food stamp card. Whatever it was, she got busted for it. And so food stamps kicked her off. And not only that, she did a video complaining about this. And then somebody else stitched her saying, like, you did it to yourself. What the fuck are you talking about? So she did that, got in trouble. They took away her food stamps. And now they're telling her she has to repay all her food stamp money, $23,000 she's supposed to pay back. And she's like, I can't even afford groceries. They want me to give them $23,000. And, but I've seen so many different wacky things like that too. There's just like so many wacky things going with the insurances, the medical, there's just so much. Like everybody has got stuff going. Like this is totally like when the popcorn, like all the popcorn's going. Like there's just so much stuff going. And but you just got to keep on remember, like whatever phase you're in with the thing. And to me, like I already am awakened. I know like some of this stuff, like I'm already spiritually focused on that and stuff like that. So then I can recognize like this is a shift in my reality. This is a shift in reality. This is when things are changing. And it's not like where they're always like, oh, we had a reality shift. Nothing changed, but we just had one. I was like, this is a shift in reality. This is when my reality is going to change. I'm going to go somewhere else and have a different experience now. This one is done for. And so anyways, and then to just stay positive, not like positive, like, well, because it sounds like that doesn't sound real positive to be like, well, a windstorm can come in here and wipe all them out, but at least I won't be here. Because it can be very well, it's saving because my house is going to be, and that could be, like the bankers getting struck back by another place they're trying to steal is, just like there's lightning striking and all these different monuments and stuff. So it could be very much like that would be the energy going back to the bank that they take this and then, so nature comes in and takes it from them. Not like they're going to care. All they want to do is take everything away from us. It's, I'm sure they think like, well, they're going to go get money. But you think about this too, is like when I moved in, so I got some kind of program. So it was like a grant and you got $10,000 down that you could pay later. So it counted as you had more down than what you had. And then I had, I don't remember how much, a couple $1,000. I'd gotten this weird insurance money because I'd canceled my insurance or something. And then I got this money back from it that I wasn't expecting. And so that's the money that I used to move over here, but I had to get a bunch of stuff and I used it to get the house and stuff. So whatever it was, so the 10,000 of their grant money, and then I think I had, I don't know, it could have been $4,000 or $5,000. But that could have also been some of the money that I used to move, but then also how much money I've put into the place. Like I've put money into fixing the place, but I've done a lot of the work or had the work done or whatever, like painted the whole house and just tons of stuff like that. But it was good for my soul. That was the part of the healing. This doing things, doing things I didn't know I could do, working hard, creating a space and stuff like that. And so, so that money for paint or whatever like that. And then I paid the first year. So 2019, I paid, and I was paying extra because I wanted to pay the house off early. So I was paying extra. And so then once the quarantine and stuff happened, then okay, because that's when I started seeing about that the banks were going to crash and stuff. So that's when I was like, well, I'm not going to keep paying extra on my house. Fuck that. And I so I switched it off the company because it was some third party or something that did it. I don't remember. And so I switched just back to my mortgage company. And my mortgage company, then let's see, so quarantine was going. I started learning all that stuff. Then Winston got sick. And then I started having to take him to the doctor and the vet. Like, it started being a money thing that 1 month. And then when he very first got sick, and I couldn't, so I called the house because I didn't have enough to make the payment, but I had paid extra. And so I thought, well, I got to be ahead anyways. So I'll just call and see if I can skip this month because I have all this medical bills. And then they said, oh yeah, no big deal. We'll just because of the Dovic, that you could just tell them like, oh yeah, we're devastated by that, so we can't make our payment. And so it was some moratorium or something. And so you could do that for the whole year. So that whole year I didn't pay. Then they came and had me sign the papers. And this is where they took a lot of people's houses because people, if your job changed, I didn't have a change in my job. But if you did, then you couldn't get the loan back. They wouldn't give you the loan back. So they were fucking people on that fucking bullshit. So so I got my loan back, and then I started paying the payment. And when did I stop again? Seems like I was paying it maybe for a year. And then I stopped because I haven't paid in a while. But I can't remember all the dates and stuff. But I swear, legitimately, for the 5 or 6 years I lived here, I think I only paid 2 years. So there's a lot of, like I feel like I got my money's worth or whatever. I didn't pay that much. I only paid like whatever, $4,000 or $5,000 on my own money, then the money to fix things up and stuff. So, because I know some people are like, oh my God, but you lose your house or something. But I mean, really, like, I didn't have, it wasn't a huge investment. I hadn't been paying or anything. But that was another reason why I hadn't been paying, because of what they're doing and all of these crises, and they're just taking people's homes right and left and right and left. It's like, well, fuck, I'm not going to sit here and pay this when at any moment anything can go down. They can hit us with any kind of storm they want, and their insurance isn't paying for people's houses. I mean, all of North Carolina is still devastated. Hawaii is still devastated. Nothing ever gets fixed. The devastation comes in, and then all the people are left to their own devices, their own, figure it out for yourself. And but that's also where something's got to give. It's got to be a part of, like, we've got to be at this shift where things are about to flip. Like, we got to be getting close. Just reading the energy. So, I don't know. I don't know what's next. I know for me what's next is I'm going to be up in the morning and just start packing and packing and packing. I've already got a bunch of stuff packed, and go out and move stuff around and try and get it organized. It's just like, God, sometimes when it's just like you start looking at all this stuff, it's like, fuck, man, fuck. So all this shit to pack and stuff. It's like, fuck. So, anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few days. So, I mean, I know I'm going to have a bunch of people here this weekend, so it might interfere. And then as soon as I get going and I get over to Spokane, then there's going to be problems with my downloading. So, This is just a change, I guess, happening. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I should be able to, for the next few days, um, just do it as regular. And then I don't know, on the weekend when everybody's here, because they'll all probably be asleep in the bedrooms and I'll be out here. But I may be just like super exhausted, but I may be like really necessary to need to talk. So if I'm like, fuck, I've got to talk, then I got to talk. Like, and there was other things I wanted to say about, because the thing that I felt like was important is like when things are going wrong is to get to be able to stay in that mindset, and it's not easy. Like I said, I feel like I'm on drugs or something. I feel really like, fuck, super anxious. My heart's pounding. My mouth is dry, and my mind is racing and stuff. So it feels like super intense, but um, but still, you know, you got to keep looking at it as like this is supposed to happen. You know, and I keep trying to look at the positive things too, because there is a lot of positive stuff just to get out of this isolation. Because that is another thing. Even if it isn't a windstorm coming in here, the earthquakes or tsunamis or whatever start going, our only evacuation is going to be cut off. So that can be totally fucked. And then this place is kind of isolated. I just don't know what's going to happen with this area or anything. And I just got to trust, you know, that the universe is on my side, and they are, wherever they're putting me is someplace that's going to be safe and good or better or whatever. And better for my psyche, you know, I'll be out of isolation. Then I'll be having somebody to talk to all the time. Because my mom's home all the time too. Well, she goes to church and she goes and hangs out with her friends and stuff. But I was like, yeah, I won't be in isolation anymore. I'll be, and it would be rough because I drive her crazy because I look at things different. I talk about things different, like about what's going on in the world and stuff. So that'll be something. But that's the part where I say, you know, it'll be like another one of those challenges. You got to look at it as like, this is a challenge on boundaries. I got to be respectful of other people's, and I need to be defining on my own. And so everything is about this growing. And like I said, obviously I finished this part of it, this isolation, is I have been in this since 2019, since March of 2019. When I moved over here, I really thought like, and the first year my kids were like, my one daughter was over here, my kids were coming over here, like we had a whole bunch of stuff go down. And it was after quarantine, it was after everything, and everybody started looking at things differently. And then after, especially after I said that they're lying about Donald, and that was just like, that really, like, there was people who didn't even want to be around me. They thought I was a crazy racist all of a sudden. I was like, what are you talking about? And then, but the, but then, you know, not everybody was coming over here all the time. And then it just ended up being, I was very isolated. But then I also used it as challenges, you know, like to get over stuff. Like, you know, I'm just going to sit here on my 60th birthday. I'm not going to make it just like nothing. Just was like, why, you know, and that was helping me to be able to break programming and stuff, and break through out of the whole birthday scheme for one thing, but the the programming of like the celebration, and the whole thing is just aging you. It's aging you when you don't need to be aged. It's all part of their bullshit thing. But like being on Christmas, all these holidays where all these people were still going and getting together, and I got to just ride it out here on my own, watching TV, doing a lot of nothing. And so that kind of stuff was nice, even though to other people it's like, oh, that's so sad. You're sitting there by yourself on the holidays. It's like, it's great. Like, and but you know, it's weird Because now it's like these shifts are happening, and I still don't even know what's gonna be like, because it still is transition. Because I've been planning for the bank crash thing, so I've been preparing for that, and so I'm ready to, once the bank goes, I'm ready to get a place somewhere. I just don't know where. And then to me, it has to do with safe land and stuff. And so it's kind of like, if that's going to be the thing, then waiting to see like what they come up with, the freedom cities and stuff too. And then just kind of too waiting and seeing like what places are hit with what disasters and stuff. Like, you just got to keep going with the flow. For all I know, like, everything is going to fucking blow up. And the people who go forward are the people who realize that they weren't flesh and blood, that they couldn't be killed. And so they just keep on popping back like ghosts or something. And we just make a whole new world. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, it can be anything. It's like, it's not as set, is what it feels like. This feels like everything is like real and this is set reality or something, but it's not. It's all an illusion. So any kind of illusion can be reality. So anything can become reality. And I just got to see, like, I don't know. Is it going to be just a bunch of ghosts? Because it is going to be heaven on earth and ghosts and living walking. And I just don't know. I don't know. I just know we don't really die. That's the thing. That's the part where they've got people convinced like they died. It's like this character they are playing goes through a process and then they die because you've got a whole bunch of other characters to go play. You got lots of characters. You don't get just hung up on one character and one character's story. You have tons of characters that you play throughout time. And so, I don't know. There would be no reason to get so hung up on things. And you wouldn't want to just stay. I mean, but now, though, it's weird because everything is like so, because you start talking about it, but it's like, but we're shifting and we are going into this period of time where we are going to stay the character. We are going to stay the person for a long time. And so that shift is happening. So it wasn't before, but now it is happening. So anyways, I just keep on feeling like I'm just, and the time thing seems so weird too. Like, man, everything, man, that's the thing, is everything feels so weird. It is so, like, what is there to hold on to in this world? Like, it's so fucking weird. So, I don't know. I may be so stressed out that I'll record again when I get up. I guess I'll try and go to sleep. They're all just snoring their heads off, and I'm sure they're going to be wide awake, waking me up as soon as I fucking fall asleep. And then I'll be just dragging ass tomorrow. And then, fuck. It just feels like I've got so much to do. But this is another thing, too, is when you have a lot to do and it's very overwhelming, don't look at it as the whole big job. Keep breaking it down into small jobs, because then it's less overwhelming. And then take each job as it goes, because then you can get through it and it won't stress you out so much. So when you look at the whole thing and you try and take it all on, then it is way more overwhelming. It's way more like, fuck, how will I do all this? But just take it like one step at a time. And so I have all Thursday and Friday. And you can get a lot of stuff packed in 10 hours. Like, I'm sure, just working constant. I'll just put on music and I just start going to town packing. All these boxes, I probably will have to go zip out and go find some packing tape. I had some, but I've used it, almost all of it, sending packages. And now I can't even order anything. That's one thing too I've been doing, is going in and changing my address on stuff. It's like, fuck. Um, I have things like, uh, like, there's just certain things on timing. Like, uh, like if he would have brought that 5 days ago, he would have brought that last week, I wouldn't be getting my paycheck tomorrow. So I'd be fucked. I don't even know what I would do. So think about that timing. I'm getting evicted right the day before I get my check. And so that was a positive. Then what was that one I was thinking? There was a whole bunch of different ones. Like, I've been going around the house doing stuff and being like, oh, well, that's a positive. Like, I'm not going to go buy a bunch of groceries and stuff tomorrow. I've got all that food that I'd made the dogs. So now I've got that where I don't have to be cooking for them over the next few days. I just feed them that stuff. But see, when I get to my mom's, there's going to be all this everything changing up, how I have to do things. Because, man, you just get these routines of how I do things now. It's going to be like, fuck, I'm going to have so much stuff that's going to be like, this is going to be a big time of change, a big influx of things changing. And I know it will be helpful to my mom to have somebody there when she can't see. And maybe, I can try and help her to get more. Hopefully she's not still going to get those goddamn eye shots. But, because there's so many things you can heal your eyes, like with the minerals. Like, my eyes have come such a long ways. The only thing now I see with my eyes is like right here. So right here is the botulism thing, which I think it's making the, I swear that there's a line right here. But there's the botulism thing right in here, and the sore right there. And then this part in my peripheral. So it's like this area right here is blocked. It's like something is blocking it, which really gets creepy when you think about the things that are in here blocking things. We'll just like go put a fucking worm house in there or something. And so, and then that one day where I thought like whatever it was had popped or something, but when I'm out walking and stuff, I can still see that there's a spot that I can't see. And so whatever, that's the only thing, is I can even, like, I don't have put on, I have put on readers a couple times, but I can't see with them. So I just keep looking at something and let my eyes adjust. And so I've been reading small print. No, there's some little tiny stuff that, another thing, a trick to do is like, I'll take a picture of it and then I can make it bigger so I can see like ingredients and stuff. And they do it in weird colors that are hard to see. But most things, like, I just let my eyes kind of adjust, and my eyes have improved. Like, a couple years ago, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna. Man, it just has been a lot, because, I mean, they wanted, after the brain injury, for me to not live independently, not drive, and all these things that I have pushed through and keep on doing and getting better. And the scene, and I know it all has so much to do with the minerals and stuff. And I'm telling you, I really think that the iron is making a difference. Increasing the iron is making a difference. And you have to have the iron to absorb the copper, to absorb the magnesium. So that iron fish thing that I keep putting in my teapot, even though it was weirding me out because of the rust thing, but I think that it's really giving me a lot more iron. It's making the stuff better, and I can tell a difference with my hair. That's when I always will make a notice. Oh yeah, we gotta look at my tooth, because it was looking so orange and now it's looking so white again, and it's looking smaller again. So I swear it's just constantly healing, constantly healing. So look at that. Look at how much smaller that is, and how much whiter it is around there now on the inside, where it looked like it was more orange this morning. And so it just keeps healing and healing. And that also takes away this going back to see the dentist. I'm not going to drive over here to go show him. Man, there's just so many things. Timing is so trippy. There's so many things that are just trippy. And uh, going through, I just think it's important to just not get too hung up or stuck and feel sorry for yourself and stuff. It kind of just hold you back or something, and just go, with however things are moving, and then start just trying to catch and pay attention to the things that are positive, because that's what I keep noticing, like, oh man, that's positive. And one of the big things is, like, I've been sitting here for fucking a couple years being like, fuck this past, like, fuck, it's so restrictive, I feel so stuck, like, and then when they make it one long winter into another long winter, it's like, man, I was so limited to the travel time and stuff before, and it's so intense, and I'm over here by myself and stuff. And so when, you're manifesting to not be going across that path, then it's like, I don't know for sure how it was going to work out, you know, um, not having the house. I can sit here and be like, well, I'm losing my house, but also I'm losing that whole responsibility for having to worry about the house. It's like I can let go of it now. It's like I did everything I could. I had a great time here. I enjoyed living here. Stella's going to miss it. I'll tell you that. Stella's going to be devastated. Um, but I told her it's going to be hard, but don't, just remember, this is a step towards your little farm, because I've told her I'm going to get her a little farm with little animals and stuff, so she can, because she's very into her pride. Like, she treats this whole fucking neighborhood as her pride. Like, we got to stop at everybody's house. She's got to check it out, see what's going on. Is anything out of place? She takes the whole thing on. So I was like, man, we just need her to have her own big little... The place that I thought was so cool was that my ex's, when, his sisters, when I went there, when I went to the med beds in, Costa Mesa, and then I drove back up. I drove through California, and so I stopped up at his place up in Northern California, and so Stella and I stayed there for a few days, and she still wasn't being able to walk. He had to help me get her out. She's still falling and stuff, but after we were there for a couple days, and she just walking around, and they had this 5-acre farm, and tons of flowers, food, everything. Oh my God, she loved it. Every time I would be looking for her, she'd just be out looking, walking around, smelling things. And I was like, oh, she wants something like, and they had this big barn, and she wanted to go out there and just lay in the barn all the time. They had goats. She just loved it. And I was like, man, I need to get someplace like this. This is how we all need to be living. Just our own space, doing what we want in our own little living place. Not all this fucking restriction and cops up our ass and the government fucking breathing down our fucking nose all the time. Like, I'm so glad, like, that is all falling apart. So however the universe is having it fall apart, I just gotta go with the flow. Even if it's disappointing, and I thought, oh, I really think it should have gone another way. But it always turns out that the universe knows what it's doing, and it always does the best thing for you, even though it seems like you have a better plan if they just listen to you. So now my plan is in motion. For all these weeks and months, I've sat there going, I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. A door is going to open or something. So now my door has opened. So I'm going through and seeing what's coming to the other side. So anyways, I'll just be having to go with the flow on my recording and stuff, and just do the best I can. I'll come in, and so I don't know. That's all I can really say. It's, but I will, try and make sure that I'm, especially for the next few days, I'm sure I'm going to need to talk about stuff. I'm sure it's going to be overwhelming. I won't be surprised if I'm going to be up at 2:30 and I'm going to be recording again. Who knows? Like, I don't know. But if I don't, then just know, like, I'm super busy trying to pack this stuff, and I'm the opposite of a procrastinator. It's like I need to hurry and rush and get everything done and have everything organized and ready, because that drives me crazy. I can't And it's easy too. Like I can see why people do it. You start looking around like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. Like, fuck. So, anyways, I get it with all these people. That's one thing too. I mean, if you want to look at positives, some of these people, everything is getting burned out. They have nothing to move. They got nothing to keep up with. Now it's just like it's starting completely over, making, a whole new world, a whole new thing. And that guy his name's Spencer. I can't think of the girl's name now. The one I was talking about, the off that reality show, and their house burned down. So they lost everything because now he did another video I saw, and they lost everything. And he said not only did they lose it, but his parents. So his parents lost everything, and they lost everything. And so I was like, fuck, that is a lot more to like. I still have, a parent's house to go. And I just know there's lots of people that don't have anywhere to go. So I got to just be grateful for everything that is happening, and just try and be positive and grateful and look at the things, the good things of it, and then just wait and see how it plays out and watch and see. And then that's all I can do. Go with the flow and see see where I'm headed. See where the river's taking me now. Well, I know what's taking me, to my mom's, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's gonna be a whole new thing. Oh, and it's like, oh my God, there's so many people there I don't want to run into. But that's one thing too, is my mom lives out at the lake, so it's not like just being right in town and probably running into people all the time. It's like, so many people, I don't want to run into an ex or anything like that. But it's like whatever's supposed to be is supposed to be. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Can't fight the current. You got to go with the flow. So anyways, that's what I would be working on. Working on my mental health and working on my trust. That's one thing too, because I'm like in my telepathy arguments, it's like, oh, great. See, yeah, that was a good thing. Trust, right? And then it's like, yeah, trust. It's like, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So this is for a good reason why this is happening. And so, anyways, that's what you just got to keep remembering. There's a reason why the universe suddenly moves you here, or moves you there, or wants you there. And you're always going to be in the places you're supposed to be. I'm telling you, it's like you are locked into this ride. You're locked into this transit, or however you want to see it, into this experience, the Kelly Hart experience. It started at birth, and then it just had its own fucking flight plan. It had its own deal going, and this is just a part of it. And I don't know all the different things that are going to come from the experience or what I learned from it or whatever, but it's in motion now. So so let the ocean keep the motion, or whatever. I don't know, I'm thinking about the water bed, which I really miss water beds. I don't know why we ever stopped having water beds. I think I need a water bed again. I think I sleep better on a water bed. That's what I think. I don't do so well with mattresses. They're very lumpy and uncomfortable. I do way better. I really want to go back to the old-fashioned water beds that we had when I was back in high school. It was just like a fucking big old balloon. It was like a big old plastic balloon that you slept on with warm water, and it felt so nice and cozy. Like, because I looked it up to look for water beds again, and it's like they still put mattress over them. I just want an old-fashioned water bed. Like, what happened to them all? Like, everybody had them for a while. Everybody. Like, what the hell happened? How do they make these shifts? How do they just move us all in and out of things so seamlessly? It seems like they just move us and we just go around just like cattle. So weird. So anyways, just remember, remember what you're doing here. And it's always being put to the test is that learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day. Because it can be difficult. So anyways, but it's up to you. So I'm sure see you in a few hours again, and I will be back. I'm sure I'm not going to be like not coming for days or something. Like, I'm sure I'll be back tomorrow. So I'll talk to you probably in a few hours. Talk to you later. Bye.